Welcome to Gems, Episode 4, Living Inside Renovation. There was a summer when our kitchen disappeared, and I don't mean metaphorically. The cabinets came down, the walls were opened. What had once been a slightly awkward but functional Victorian-era kitchen became a construction zone in the center of our home. We had lived around the kitchen for 10 years, telling ourselves someday we will renovate. And finally, that someday arrived. The doorway widened, the old brick chimney stayed, the appliances migrated into the dining room, refrigerator on one side, stove on the other. Everything technically worked, but nothing was where it belonged. Thank God it was temporary. And for one full week, we had no sink. You don't realize how essential a sink is until it's gone. Water becomes choreography. Making coffee becomes strategy. Washing your hands requires a trip down the hall. Every single task asks for adaptation. Every small task asks for adaptation. Every small task asks for adaptation. And at first, it was really fun. We were a team. Graph paper on the island, measurements sketched in pencil, coffee at 10 in the morning with my sister on FaceTime. While we watched YouTube School and mapped the next steps, it was creative, it was collaborative, and it was ours. Until it wasn't. Not because something went wrong, but because something in me reached its threshold. Stretch is energizing at first. You adapt, you improvise, you rise to meet what's needed. But stretch, held too long, turns into strain. And the strain doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like washing dishes in the bathroom and telling yourself, God, this is only temporary, you'll get through it. And sometimes it looks like saying, as soon as we get past this part, I'll be good. But on the 6th morning, I woke up and I said, I'm not doing another week like this. I wasn't angry. I wasn't blaming. I was orienting. Let's be real. I could have kept going. But capacity isn't how much you can endure. Capacity is something that you build. And building it is intentional. This is the skill we build in guided practice. It isn't built by pushing through strain. It's built by restoring what's essential. That sink wasn't luxury. It was infrastructure. Living inside renovation requires tolerance, and it asks you to be flexible. It asks you to function in the middle of inconvenience. But it also requires discernment. The ability to know the difference between temporary stretch and structural strain. Most of us don't collapse when we reach that edge. We compensate. We juggle. We tell ourselves we'll reset when there's time. And we live just past comfortable and call it strength. But a nervous system doesn't build capacity by enduring without maintenance. A house doesn't strengthen by ignoring what's missing. It strengthens when what's foundational is restored. And lately I've been thinking about that week a lot because in many ways we are living inside of renovation again. Not in our kitchens, but in the sky. Whether you follow astrology closely or simply sense that something feels different, we're in a season of larger cycles shifting, light and shadow crossing paths, structures realigning, long arcs turning. And you don't have to believe that planets dictate your life or notice when, but you can notice when the atmosphere, You don't have to believe that planets dictate your life to notice when the atmosphere is changing. Renovation doesn't only happen in houses. It happens in systems, in leadership, in culture, in the collective field we live inside. Now, the sky may be shifting, but your nervous system still lives on Earth. And grounded systems require maintenance. You are not required to panic inside large cycles of change. You are invited to orient, to notice where you are stretching, to notice when stretch becomes strain, and to recognize what is temporary inconvenience and what is essential infrastructure. Resetting isn't stepping away from the structure. Resetting is part of the structure. And without it, the system tightens. Stillness isn't indulgence. It's foundational. It's how you widen the doorway. And it's how you reinforce the beams. It's how you live inside renovation without bracing against it. Capacity isn't something that you're born with. It's something you build. And you build it by returning to stillness long enough to restore what's essential. So I'll ask you, what's your sink right now? What have you been living without that's actually infrastructure? Where are you just past comfortable calling it strength? And listen, you may be able to keep going. Many of us do. That doesn't mean it's building capacity. Ground yourself, return to stillness, restore what's foundational, and then build from there. What's your sink right now?